and we hit that storm to the east.
You guys remember this woman, right? Who could forget the person who protected us from Hurricane Dorian, or at least believes she did? Around the time of the 2020 election, she made a lot of claims. She completely worked Trump into her theology. He's like her messiah now, and she isn't the only one. There's a significant branch of the evangelical voting bloc who believe that Trump was sent by God to save us all.
And the Lord, it was like, I'm really not interested in your all's vote this time. I'm doing it. I usually give you all that option. This time I'm not. This is a rescue operation from heaven. This is a moment of the ages. This will go down. This time period will go down as a before and after AD, BC, AD, depending on what terminology you use now.
They believe God wants democracy to fall in the US, to be replaced with a dictatorship, with Trump as the leader. I figured they'd give it up eventually. I mean, how many months can you stick to this story? How many failed predictions can you make before people stop believing you? But no, Christian prophetess Kat Kerr just keeps on going, and people keep on believing her. Trump's cult of extremists made prediction after prediction about him regaining his position of president over the course of 6 months following the election, and their final big date was March 4th. I honestly thought they'd give it up after that one failed, but Kat Kerr released another claim about Trump taking office again. You only see this kind of fervent belief in somebody who views the person as a religious leader. So let's take a look at Kat Kerr's latest claims about Trump. Let's get into it. November 3rd, 2020. Everybody was glued to their TV screens. We wanted to know who the next president would be. People stayed up all night waiting, because by the end of the day, we still had no idea what would happen next. There weren't clear results, but by November 8th, it was obvious. Votes had been counted, and it was clear that Biden had won, which was unfortunate for Kat Kerr, Hank Kunneman, Johnny Enlow, Mark Taylor, Greg Locke, Robin Bullock, and any number of other religious leaders in the evangelical community, because they straight up told their congregations that God told them that Trump would win this round. As we saw earlier, Johnny Enlow even told us that God wasn't considering our votes this time around. It's a rescue operation. He's deciding for us. Hell, who knows? Maybe the fact that he said that in the first place is the thing that tipped the scales in Biden's favor. Why would his listeners bother going out to vote if they knew God would be installing a dictator anyways? In all seriousness, Johnny Enlow does have a lot of pull, but probably not that much pull. But all the pastors combined who said that God told them that Trump would win, they almost certainly have enough pull to change the outcome. If they ever told their people not to vote at all, which they'd never do, but if they did, a Republican president would never win another election. They are very well connected, and that's the reason why I feel it's important to cover them. Anyways, let's take a look at how Kat Kerr reacted after her messiah, Trump, lost the election. She was not happy.
I say, this is my land, and these are my people, and I have raised them up for such a time as this. My people have prayed, they have fasted, they have called on my name, and I will not turn a deaf ear unto them. But to the lost, to the wicked, to those who chose to cheat and steal and lie, they shall have every curse come upon them that they have spoken over my president, Donald J. Trump. I say he is the president. He won. And in 2021, you will see that he won. And I say I will replace the one who boldly dares to step upon the platform of my country and say it is his.
Oh, I love it. I'm just eating this shit up. Bear in mind, what she's saying right now is supposed to be straight from the mouth of God. Like she's writing new verses in the Bible. She's even wording it in a kind of Old English style, like how the grammar from the Bible is structured. Joseph Smith made the same mistake when he was fabricating the Book of Mormon. The book was supposed to have been written in the year 500 or so, and it was supposedly discovered by Joseph Smith in the 1800s. But it was written with a grammar structure and writing style similar to what you'd find in a 1700s edition King James Bible. It even had translation errors that were fixed in later editions of the Bible. Errors you can only really find in the version that he had. Oops, and people believed him. They still believe him. You can't make this shit up. Anyways, let's keep listening to Kat Kerr completely lose her shit over her messiah's election loss.
And I say I will replace the one who boldly dares to step upon the platform of my country and say it is his. For he has an evil, wicked agenda. I will not approve that agenda. I will not approve him, and no one should approve him. For I say he is wrong. He is illegitimate, and I will not confirm him. I will not talk about him. He will not be known in this land. And one day his name will be like dust. And I say he will be crushed below the landslide of the fraud and the evil and the wickedness. It will be plainly be seen and known, and everyone will know what he is and what his plan is, for I call him a villain.
I love how she said he's illegitimate and he won't be confirmed. Priceless. She just can't help herself, can she? She has this overwhelming compulsion to make baseless claims. Even when she's fuming from one of her claims being unequivocally proven wrong, she makes even more. Is she ever going to learn? Do it like every good cult leader. Never make direct, falsifiable claims. Don't say Trump is going to win this election on November 3rd, 2020. Make unfalsifiable claims, like God will save us from suffering one day. Can't prove it right, can't prove it wrong, because one day could be the day before the heat death of the universe and she'd still be right. But making a direct claim about something very specific and naming the day that it's going to happen, well, that's just setting yourself up for failure. Let's continue.
The villain is the worst person in the plot. And I say he is responsible. He is accountable. And I will hold him to that. And I say there will be no place for him to hide, no place for him to go, and no one who is attached to him, no one who approves him, no one who congratulates him will be on my side. I say, repent if you have said those words. Do not side with evil, for that is what you will have. Do not side with wickedness, for that will consume your life. You do not want to be a part of what is going on there. And I say, I will end it when I say it is over.
So there you go. Kat Kerr publicly disintegrating over being wrong and taking the opportunity to make even more claims. But she didn't stop there. She made like a billion videos like this, one after another. Eventually she slowed down about Trump and started sticking to the important stuff again, saving us from hurricanes. But she just released a new video about Trump. Yes, after all this time, she's still hyper fixated on this. A lot of people confuse cults and religions. You don't have to be one to be the other. Scientology isn't really a religious cult. It's a psychology cult. Young Living, QAnon, and incels aren't religions, but they are cults. They're commonly conflated. But I feel like this video is making a strong case that the Trump cult isn't just a cult, it's a religion too. Trump isn't just a political leader for these people. He also plays an important role in their theology. Lots of evangelical Christians believe that the rapture will take place any 5 minutes now. God will bring all the good people to heaven, and everybody else will be left behind to survive Armageddon, the great war between God and Satan. But people like Kat Kerr, Johnny Enlow, Mark Taylor, Greg Locke, Robin Bullock, and others have completely worked Trump into their theology. They have a new end times belief. They've elevated Trump to a new level. He isn't just their politician, the guy who they voted for. He's their messiah. Anyways, let's take a look at Kat Kerr's latest clip. She went on Steve Schultz's YouTube channel recently and spouted off more nonsense. Check this out.
When the presence of the Lord is so strong, my body will begin to, it's like a super fast shaking. We shake, right? And then we shake, and your whole inside shakes. That's the frequency of God coming into the earth. But Trump's vibration is increasing. And you're the first one who I ever said that to, by the way. That what he's given now is a shaking. It's a shaking coming from Trump himself. Since the enemy's trying to shake us into fear, the words when Trump speaks them has that vibration, that frequency.
She's associating Trump with God. She's claiming that they have the same supernatural qualities and abilities. When God speaks, he has a vibration frequency, and Trump has that same frequency. She's trying to tie Messiah status to Trump right now. She's bordering on the idea that Trump is supernatural. I'm not sure if she personally believes in the Trinity or not. Not every Protestant does. Jehovah's Witnesses don't, for example. But if she does believe in the Trinity, it means that she thinks Jesus and God are basically the same being, right? She hasn't made that claim about Trump. So to put it in context, I get the impression, based on what she's saying here, that she views Trump similarly to how Jehovah's Witnesses or other Protestants who don't accept the Trinity view Jesus. Not God himself, but supernatural, with supernatural abilities, and specially chosen by God himself to fulfill a purpose. They are working him into their theology. Let's keep watching.
The words when Trump speaks them has that vibration, that frequency of the Spirit of God in him, because God is shaking himself. He's shaking the earth itself. He's starting to shake. Hell itself is shaking right now. They're terrified because, Satan's usually the one who does the shaking thing. But God had done it a long time ago. So he is shaking hell. The spirits of darkness are beginning to shake. I see them all the time, like shaking, trying to run away. And so I can tell you, we're getting closer and closer to that time when God himself is going to do something. Of course, it's going to involve Trump in it, but even the frequency in his voice now has a vibration in it.
Really?
Some people may begin to feel that when they hear him speak, because you know why? He is our president.
I didn't realize this until I started getting into the atheist community on YouTube. But all those ancient Greek gods like Zeus, Poseidon, Hera, Apollo, Hermes, Athena, people really believed in them. I thought it was ancient fan fiction. I thought they were just stories. No, people actually believed that these gods lived on Mount Olympus, which is a real physical location, and they were disappointed when they finally reached the top of the mountain to find that there was nothing there. You think people actually believed in this Jesus bullshit 2,000 years ago? Of course not. Christianity didn't start taking off until hundreds of years later, at least, and now there are 2.4 billion Christians worldwide. There's a small but significant group of people who are deifying Trump right now. They're giving him supernatural qualities and abilities, the same way Christians did for Jesus or Muslims did for Muhammad. Now, don't get me wrong, I seriously doubt Trumpism will grow into a full-blown popular religion like Christianity or Islam. It'll most likely remain a small branch of evangelical Christianity, but it's still growing, and as long as there are poor suckers to buy this up, there will be scumbags there to sell it.